Hey everyone, Mr. Paine again. Here to give you a little bit of insight into what my classes look like and sort of what I am about as a teacher. The way we teachers usually express this, especially in job interviews, is a teaching philosophy and a teaching style. Um, so my teaching philosophy starts with an understanding that the majority of my students will not be professional writers, English teachers and professors, professional book critics, and so forth. Some will, but most won't. And therefore, my challenge as a teacher and my belief about the importance of what I'm teaching uh, both center around relevance to all students. So, how does going to English language arts class benefit all students, not just the few who will go on to um, careers in writing and reading? And so that starts with what we at Moore call Howell's habits of work and learning, which at Moore are respect, responsibility, and perseverance, and which I usually call being nice, learning stuff, and working hard. Because I do believe that any student, when they leave my classroom, if they have skills in respect, responsibility, and perseverance, in other words, if they know how to um, be nice, learn stuff, and work hard, they'll be successful in all the areas of life. And so, respect or being nice, people have to work with other people. You always have to work with customers, clients, bosses, coworkers, um, your family, and you have to be able to communicate effectively and respectfully and listen. Um, and so that's what we practice in English class because it's an important skill for everyone to have. Um, Responsibility, which uh, I call in a very nondescript, not great English manner, learn stuff. Um, you have to be able to provide for your family and for your community, for the business you work for, and that's responsibility is being able to do things for other people. And so responsibility is about showing up to work and showing up for your family, showing up for your community, and doing what needs to be done. And that's all things you have to learn. You have to become informed and learn how to vote in order to affect your government, or you have to know how social change happens and organize people to make a movement in order to change your community. And you need to learn the ins and outs of your business in order to be successful at what you do to help your business succeed. So, and you can get your piece of the pie and earn a paycheck and bring it home. And that goes under responsibility. And then finally, work hard or perseverance um, is about taking on challenges and not giving up when things get hard, and not only just not giving up and doing the same thing over and over that's not working, but not giving up and finding new strategies and new ways to be successful. And so we practice that in English class too. And again, because every student can use it in their life, that's what we really focus on. And then I teach English language arts. So in class, we are reading, writing, speaking, listening, arguing, um, and uh, and that's what we do because that's the content. And not only do we focus on the Howells, the respect, responsibility, and perseverance, but there's also quite a bit of um, transfer of those skills to real life. So even though every student won't be a professional writer, every student will probably write emails at some point. in order to communicate and get something done that they need to get done. Every student may read something for their job, whether it's a work order, or a training manual, or there are just so many different jobs, writing estimates, or um, just so many different jobs out there, and so many different ways to interact with text and reading, um, and then also interact with the community. um, you can't you can't vote on ballot issues without reading what they are and understanding what they mean. um, and there are just many other examples. You'll find that many of the most effective people at whatever they do are also the ones who read about it a lot. Reading and writing have been around for many generations, and there's a reason people say that the printing press and the internet are some of the most important inventions ever, because writing down information and then being able to read information is a hugely powerful tool for a human being. So if you can read effectively, that's just a huge amount of power to you, and so that's relevant to every student. And then in my class, more so probably than many other English classes, I focus on speaking and what I call arguing. And and I mean arguing not in a combative or necessarily overly emotional sense, um, but stating a case in a rational way, but also in a controlled emotional way, so that people listen to you and really believe that you mean something, um, because that is also something that people do in all areas of life, all over the place. On the factory floor, right? Should we shut down the line right now and sacrifice production in order to fix something on the line, or do we keep the line moving and slowly, right? There could be different sides to that argument, and people have to make claims and present their case effectively. And it's the same thing in within families. Should mom take a higher paying job that keeps her away from the family, or a lower paying job that keeps her at home? Or um, should we spend our money on groceries, or should we save up for a vacation? Or um, should we let our kid quit sports because it's not going so well, or do we make them push through so that they learn perseverance? There are just so many in every walk of life. People are making arguments and supporting arguments, and certainly in politics as well. Here's what one person thinks should be done to make our country and our community work better, and here's what another person thinks, and that's arguing again. And so arguing, and not arguing to win, but arguing to come to a good decision with another person through listening and evaluating evidence, and listening to the point where we may actually change our own minds because someone else has a better idea. Um, that is a huge part of what we do in my class. So yeah, that's sort of my learning philosophy. If you've made it this far, congratulations, because I've been talking for a while. And quickly, I'll talk about my style, the way I teach class. Um, as I said, as I was just done talking about with arguing, if you were to come into my classroom, you would probably notice that students talk a lot in my classroom. It's the first place that students gain language abilities is speaking. We usually learn to speak before we write, and we're usually more comfortable at speaking than we are at writing. So if that's the foundation of thought in words, is speaking, and so we do a lot of speaking. So you'd probably say, well, that's a louder classroom than most I've seen, and you'd be correct. Another thing that I really focus on is engagement. So going along with the speaking, there are a lot of times when all students or half of the students in my classroom will be speaking at once. So we'll go into partners and and talk to our partners because when there's just one student out of 20 talking and they're talking to the teacher, um, that's not necessarily the most engaging thing for everyone else in the class to pay attention to. Um, and so I use a lot of different tools for engagement, like movement and speaking, watching videos, getting out of uh, just writing as a way to express ourselves, and also getting into drawing and using video and using technology. All those things just to get students engaged in thinking and to get every student engaged at the same time in thinking. Um, and so then I guess the final note on that, again with engagement, um, is that I usually the tasks that I ask students to do, I don't expect them to complete. A lot of a lot of classes, you know, you'll get assigned 20 questions, and when you finish the 20th one, you're done. In my class, you get assigned one question and you think about it really hard, and you write as much as you possibly can and come up with the most developed idea you can about that question. Or I'll give 20 questions and I'll only expect students to answer 5 to 7 of them, depending on how fast they go. And maybe some students will skip ahead and get to number 18, but miss numbers 15 and 16. Because again, I don't want students to ever run out of questions to answer because they'll just be sitting there doing nothing. And as long as every student is engaged in thinking at the same time, that is a-okay with me. So that's sort of just what you notice is different about my style compared to other teachers, and it's not necessarily that I even think my style is the best or it would work for everyone. It's just the best for me in the way I run a class, and I not only accept, but I also I cherish and value being on a team with other teachers who have a completely different style, because then students get access to different ways of learning. So yeah, that is 13 minutes of Mr. Paine talking, and thank you very much if you've actually managed to make it this far. Um, and yeah, that's it. Thanks.